Hi everyone, Reid with NuWave Composites here, and today we're going to be talking a little about cores, core selections, and what to use them for when working in composites. So with all composites, either fiberglass or carbon fiber, they do a really good job of building strength, very strong fibers encapsulated in resin, but stiffness typically will come from thickness. So that's where we're going to use these coring materials to get exactly the properties and function you're looking for out of your part. So in front of me, I've got 4 or 5 different core and reinforcement options here. And we're gonna go through kind of each one, what it's, what it's called, some trade names, what it's made out of, and then applications for them. So these two here are gonna be your good examples of your typical coring materials. This first one is a PVC core. This is your premium product. This is gonna be known as like your Divinycell, your Airex, your core cell, those types of things. This is a cross-link PVC core. It's got excellent weight to strength properties, very little water absorption, so it won't rot or anything like that. And it's got great shear and elongation properties. So this is your kind of cream of the crop core. This is going to be used in your really high strength areas, high impact areas, like your hull bottom areas that really going to take a lot of slamming load and really need a lot of dynamic flexing, right? So you need a stiff panel that can also, when it needs to bend. These are going to come in all different thicknesses and densities, but the most common that we're seeing is about the 130 kilogram, about 8 pound, 3/4 inch. So you can see this panel nice and stout, even on its own. And when you combine some fiberglass on either side of that, you really get a super stiff panel. So this typically referred to as a sandwich laminate construction, because that piece of core is sandwiched between the layers. And those really stiff layers of fiberglass on either side create like an I-beam, right? So that core is that middle web. So first one, PVC. The next option is a PET core. A couple different trade names for this. This is known as a T92 or a Gurit makes a Contender. Typically, most common 100 kilogram density. So this is a really great alternative to the PVC in areas where you need a stiff panel, but you don't need to pay the premium price. This product can be about 1/3 of the cost of the PVC. So big cost savings there, great options for bulkheads, your floors, hatches, anything that you just want stiff. So when you're standing on or anything, you're not feeling that flex, you're not gonna get any cracking. So, and this is a similar construction to the PVC, but it's a PET. So it's actually a different type of plastic. It's recyclable. So a little bit of a nice environmental impact there in an industry that's not very environmentally friendly typically. So both of these two serve the same function, creating a stiff panel, but they do not work for the other items that we have here, right? So no screw retention on these. These are not meant for that kind of reinforcement. They're really just for stiffening a panel and taking dynamic loads. The next one we have here, this is a Coosa panel. So that's a brand name, Coosa. It's really a polyurethane foam encapsulated with continuous strand on either side. So it's, in some ways, it's very similar to a sandwich panel on its own, but it's prefabricated and it's got its own advantages to it. One really common advantage for Coosa is its compression. It's really commonly used in transoms where you're going to be mounting big motors to them and you need to bolt that through, and you're not gonna, you can't have any compression and flexing, where this is like a 6 pound foam. Coosa in one of the lowest densities is a 20 pound, and they go up to like 26, 28. So great use for compression. Any scenario where you're going to be compressing anything like through bolt. I think if you're putting cleats or any hardware, anything heavy that's going to need through bolts going through it. Coosa's also does not absorb any water, so it's a great option for, you can use it for decking if you're retrofitting a new boat. You can use it for stringers. So it also has, I would say, moderate screw retention. People think sometimes incorrectly that Coosa has really good screw retention, but for the most part, it is just a PU foam with glass on either side. So really you're just relying on, an 1/8 inch of glass to hold your screw, and then the rest is basically soft foam. So a little misconception there. Next panel we have here, this is Aquaplas 5. This is from Piedmont Plastics. There's a couple different manufacturers that make something similar, but this is really a ultimate screw retention product. It's going to be a great substitute for plywood. It's a little lighter, but you're going to get phenomenal screw retention, and it actually bonds really well with resins and fiberglass. So you're not going to have any of the rot issues that you would with plywood. And again, this is like perfect for if you're putting hinges or anything that you want to just screw down. This is an excellent product for that. And the last product we have here, this is called Aquasteel, again from Piedmont Plastic. This is a phenolic, so it's resin based, and this is a basically 1-for-1 swap for aluminum. You can see this is incredibly hard and dense. You can drill and tap this. So this is, again, really great replacement for aluminum. You're not going to have any galvanic corrosion when you use stainless in it. It bonds with resins. So this is kind of the last fastener style material. So Aquaplas for screws, Aquasteel for drill and tap. So really the whole point of having all of these different materials is to be able to choose them and use them selectively in your part to get what you need out of them. We're going to go over the options again and just hit a couple bullet points on when to use them and their names so we can be familiar with that. So this is a PVC. You've got your, Divinycell, core cell. This is your premium panel stiffener. This is your highest price, but also highest performance. And you've got your PET core. Great panel stiffener, more budget. You've got, Airex T92, Gurit Contender. Great product, a third of the cost. And you've got your Coosa. You can also buy under the brand name K-Cell. This is your compression board. Also works great as a pre-laminated piece, but really think for the most part compression and transoms, cleats, anything you're through bolting. They've got Aquaplas 5. This is your plywood replacement. This is your screw retention. Anywhere you're going to be putting hardware, anything that you're going to screw in place, this is your ticket. And then finally, Aquasteel, aluminum replacement, drill and tap. Great product. So again, you can get all of these materials from any of your suppliers, and we also offer them fully integrated in all of our kitting services. So you can have rebates where you've got any of these products embedded within the core materials, strategically placed for any of your consoles, lean posts, cleats, hinges. All of these pieces will come pre-kitted, pre-cut to fit right in, and you'll get exactly the part you need. One other product we didn't talk about here would be Balsa. So Balsa is actually one of the best coring materials you can possibly use for its cost, its strength, its shear, it's everything. However, it does have one Achilles heel, which it will rot if not properly installed. So Balsa historically has had a lot of use, but due to age and improper installation or improper use over time, you get water intrusion and it rots out, and typically you don't know until it's too late. So you can have some really big failures. So unfortunately, Balsa gets a really bad name, but that's why pretty much everyone has switched over to composites, because you take that risk completely out. But oddly enough, Balsa still does have some really good applications on some higher end and areas where you don't have water in the mix. So boat's kind of on its way out, but there's still a great market for Balsa and other composites. So all of these products can be used either open molded or infusion. These two products have perforation set up for infusion. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the infusion process, we actually have a video that we just did. You can check it out right here. And that walks you through the entire process of how to do infused part. If you have also any other questions about anything that you've seen here and our other videos, you can reach out to us through any of our social media accounts or our website, NuWaveComposites.com.